Oh, they're missing all my good stuff.
You gotta sign out.
Cover the cost.
Yeah, oh yeah, I can't see that. And the reason why I stepped up to be the chair of the aging committee is that aging or just elderly people in general are very near and dear to my heart. My mother's 80 years old, my father's 85, and thankfully they're still healthy, but I always feel like people of the elder people are always kind of pushed to the side and not really heard, and people want to kind of put them on the back burner, and so to say, like, you've lived already, let's move on. That's not my thought. My thought is we want to make sure that we magnify them, we kind of uplift them. I hold my parents and everyone who's around me who is elder in such a high regard. I kind of like idolize them, where it's, I want to hear your stories. I want to hear everything that made you how you are. How was it in the 60s? How was it in the 70s? How was it in the 80s? I wasn't alive during that time. I'm 30 years old. So I really cherish the knowledge, the wisdom, and I want to really put an emphasis on the people who made the community what it is. I'm sure you guys have been in the community for a long time, and I want to make sure that we not only take what has happened before, but also use that as a catalyst to create the future. That's all I have for me. If anyone has any questions for me, feel free to ask. I'm an open book. One?
Thank you for stepping up.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
So I would like for everyone a part of the committee to just introduce yourselves, how long you've been on the community board, if at all. This is my first year, so I'm pretty new. But and just tell me just some things that you see for the aging committee as far as priorities or something that you really want to take a look at, so we can hammer it down. I'm a very get it done kind of person, and I like to just do it. So, volunteers to go first?
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen Gibbs. I was on the committees for a while, traffic and transportation for 5 years, public safety for 2. I'm a newly appointed community board member. Very proud to be on the community board. I've been living in Riverdale since 1971. I'm working for River Spring Health for 15 years. My other hat, well, I'm like a delegate for 1199, a spokesperson. I helped pass the minimum wage in New York with Andrew Cuomo. My other hat is in the Screen Actors Guild. I'm also an actress. So I wear a lot of hats, and I love to be on the community board and really get involved, especially with the elderly people, because, you know, they are elders and whatnot. Because, well, first of all, I'm in that senior citizen range now myself. And I feel like, you know, they contributed a lot into our society for a long time, and we need to give back. You know, we got to make sure they're okay, and everything good, and you know, take care of our community. So with that, I'm gonna pass.
My name is Lee Chong. This is my second year on the board. I was on the Housing Committee as chair last year, and I was on Land Use, and I was also on Aging with Lisa Dow as chair. And I'm involved personally with my local older adult center, which is Riverdale Senior Services, Ageless Living. I'm also the co-chair of our Social Action Committee, as well as an elected member of our advisory council. So I'm very much interested in the issues that impact older adults, of which I am. I'm old enough to be your mother. I won't tell you.
That's not saying much. I think.
75.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now goes the young'un.
Hi, I'm Ramdas Singh. I've been on the board now, this is my 3rd year, second term, and I used to be the chair of the Parks and Rec Committee. That was really cool. And one thing I'm interested in is, one thing that I'm interested in is housing. We see that in this area and around the district, you know, a lot of folks who are on fixed income can't afford their rent or the apartment that they're in, and I think we need to shift, you know, and do more for like senior housing. And, yeah, so yeah, I was like, I remember, I was like, which type of housing was it? 202 housing. Right. Right. So I'm excited to be and serve on this committee. This will be my first committee, time on this committee actually, so excited to learn from everyone.
What's that? Thank you.
Barbara's also on the committee.
Timing, we're introducing ourselves, Rita.
Oh, okay. I know who I am.
I know who you are too, a long
Your
time.
birthday yesterday?
Yes.
Anyway, I'm Rita Paxillo. I've been a member of the board for a number of years, youth, libraries and culture. Love being here, and it's nice to see a nice crowd. Hopefully need help. I feel like one today.
It was a good crowd.
Thank you for the donuts.
Kenny Long.
There.
We're saving the best for last.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll go.
My name is Julie Reyes. I've been on the board for about 24 years. I'm on various committees and on the executive board as treasurer in the past, and chairs of a few committees. And I'm interested in aging. I see something interesting recently with scams.
Yes.
So that would be my interest, because I see my mom, I always worry whenever she gets on the phone. I shouldn't say this in case she's looking. But that is worrisome, because they're very good at it right now.
Barb?
Hi, I'm Barbara Kale. I am retired just last August. I taught for 30 years at Fordham University, social work. I have a particular interest in aging and ageism. I'm interested in social action. I've worked with Panthers. I've worked with Age Equity Alliance on issues in the workplace. And I'm particularly concerned about making Riverdale an easier place to grow old. And I'm a newbie. I've just been appointed.
Hey.
Thank you for all of that. Today's meeting, oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, and also there's guests on the,
But even the guests, I would like to get to know everyone. If you can just introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit more about yourselves. Both have great hair, by the way.
and I'll go on, and there's people on,
I am a community resident for many, many, many years, and I'm a board member for over 10 years, just stopping this year. Held secretary of the board and chair of aging for a few years. And happy to meet you again. Thank you for stepping up, Oscar. You need any help, give me a holler. And it's great to see you guys on Zoom. Hello, hello. What? Oh, I'm Lisa Dowd, sorry. And interested in a lot of things. Again, aging in the community, how affordable housing. It's a shame that people have to leave the community in order to be able to come back in with help from the government. And that was number 2 on our budget priorities, for the record. That's about it, and just working with older adults, and I am one too. I won't say it on Zoom. Way up there, and glad to be working with you in any capacity.
hi, I'm Sharon Asherman, I'm the director of the Older Adult Center at the Riverdale Y, just up the hill. So, I am in and out of this committee as a community. So some years I'm a committee member, some years I'm not a committee member, but when I try to show up when I can and represent the Y and find out what the boots on the ground are, the people who are the boots on the ground are thinking.
Thank you so much.
You got
And on Zoom, Judy, Zoom?
Hi, my name is Judy Green. I'm a retired high school teacher from Pelham Park, Columbus High School, Pelham Parkway. And I moved here about 12 years ago, and I got involved with the community board on the education committee. And then I served with the city councilman in this, those of you who remember, we had like 5 years of participatory budgeting where money was given to different entities based on the community voting for it. And I ran the committee that implemented that. I haven't been well for a while. I'm okay now, but I was very interested. I remember the last time that I was active, not that I was on your committee, but that they wanted to merge you with the youth committee. And I wonder, did that disappear? I'm very much against that, but I'm wondering what the logic was of even suggesting that. And, you know, it probably has disappeared by now, but I was concerned about that.
I'll address that after this is all done.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Sue Ellen Dodell. I've been a North Riverdale resident for close to 40 years, and I worked for the city of New York as a lawyer for more than 44 years. And today I'll be presenting a resolution that I hope that you'll adopt to help people like Judy Green and other retired city employees who are in danger of losing their health care.
That's new to me. Losing health care is new to me. This is Judy Green talking.
Yes, well, yeah, we've been fighting this for 2 years, and you'll hear about it more
Okay.
At the appropriate time when the chair goes to new business.
Okay.
Mhm.
So moving on the agenda.
Miriam Rabner.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And David.
Hi, I'm Miriam Rabner. I've lived in Riverdale. I'm a community member, been here for about 40 years. I'm a part of the aging cohort. In my professional life, I am a community liaison and a cultural sensitivity liaison for MJHS Hospice and Palliative Care. I go out into the community, among other things, and I educate people on the importance of being health literate, to know options about illness, and to document their wishes, and to select healthcare agents who could speak for them if they no longer have a voice, and to try to manage what we can manage in old age and with serious illness.
Hello, everybody. My name is David. I'm actually a graduate student at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism. I was assigned to cover Community Board District 8, so I just wanted to attend this meeting to get a sense of the issues that are impacting you guys in the community.
Good, we have donuts, we have the press. Good turnout. So with that being said, I wanted to move on to the approval of the committee minutes for May 2023. Has anyone seen them? I reviewed them earlier. I obviously wasn't there, so.
I think this was a youth committee, a joint.
Yeah, it was a joint.
Meeting. And then there was also the March minutes. I don't know if those were ever. I think so. Yeah. I think so.
Can we have a motion to approve them both? Anyone opposed?
I guess motion to approve.
I second.
So that's taken care of.
Good job.
I
learned from my mistakes, so I'm gonna pass it on to you. When you do that, then you have to know who abstained, who
Oh.
opposed. Trust me, I did that mistake September 7th.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. Now,
So you just ask who opposed, who abstained, and who abstained.
does anybody oppose or abstain? So, old business, the discussion of possible joint meetings with the youth committee. Me personally, I think that this is something that, well, this is personally something that I'm opposed to, just because I feel like a lot of things that are relevant to both committees may get lost in the meeting, because everything will have to be cut down and shared, and in particular with this committee, I think that our issues are a little more significant and need a little more attention, so I disapprove, but I would like to open up the forum to see if there's anyone who,
Yes.
would be for it and why.
Put it that
My
way, definitely.
question, this is Judy Green. How did this
Hi, Judy.
merger of these two committees come about in the first place? Who thought that this was a good idea?
So, go ahead, Lisa. But answer, Lisa.
It started because the youth committee was down to maybe 2 or 3 people, and the aging committee was getting smaller, and a lot of there were just not enough committee members to fill up the roster. But there was also another thing, the proposal was not to merge the two committees. I want to be clear on that. The proposal was to create a community engagement committee to deal with the social infrastructure of the neighborhood. We have traffic, we have buildings, we have zoning. This is what makes a community, and by focusing on the centers that focus on the health and well-being of our youth or of our older adults or of families, we thought, wow, we can get a robust committee with maybe 10 members, but I'm really happy to see that this committee now has more members, and hopefully it will be a robust committee by itself and continue on as the aging committee. So that's it.
Yeah.
The plan
And
again was not to
what's going
merge
to,
the two committees.
what's
It
going to
just
happen
happened
to the youth committee?
encompass it.
What happens to the
Judy,
youth
what?
committee? What happens to the youth
It's
committee?
still there. There is still a youth committee, and with that, I'll step back because I have to take off my member hat.
There are 5
You're fine.
members of the youth committee now.
There are 5 now, and I see there's more aging, so perhaps both can tackle the issues, but I think, anyway, just to be clear, it wasn't a merger of the two committees, but it would happen under a community engagement committee, and possibly other committees would be included as well. So anyway, that's that.
All right. I have checked some other community, I just think that this is an embarrassment to try to put these two committees together, that it doesn't understand what these units mean in the community. To try to shove them together because you only had 2 people attending is ridiculous.
Not sure.
I guess at the time, we didn't have a lot of members either on the board. We had, 10 vacancies at that moment in time? And that's why it played into the fact that a lot of committees didn't have a lot of membership. It's not like only 2 people were showing up, it's just that 2 people signed up to the youth. I was part of youth, but I had to leave because conflict with my schedule, So I don't think it was lack of engagement, it's just that we didn't have all of our board, the entire board filled. What is it, 50 members?
50, and it's still
Yeah,
not there.
yeah.
50, yeah, but at least
Isn't
we're a
there-
little bit more closer to 50 members at this moment in time.
Isn't
I
there an
think-
outreach program where when you're faced with this issue of not having enough members, that you reach out in the community to the Riverdale Y, to the
It's the
aging
board members.
group?
The city.
Why
if I-
wouldn't the community do that?
If I may, the city sent out an email. I assume it was pretty wide, and asking for people to apply, saying their positions open. The city did do outreach, the Bronx Borough President's Office. That's how I found out about it.
I see.
So there was some outreach, but certainly not enough. I would,
Not at all. Almost embarrassing for those of us who know, who've been in the system, teachers, whatever, to try to merge two committees together that have all different kinds of issues. It's I find it embarrassing.
Can I just say one thing? I think many of us, especially in the older cohort, are concerned about ageism. And we're never going to get anywhere unless we work along with other generations. And having a few meetings with youth or out there in the community amongst all age groups. We're not going to stop ageism if we stay by ourselves in a hole. So another reason to get together with youth on occasion for something to see what we could do to fight ageism.
Makes a ton of sense. I agree with that vision. My only, I wouldn't say pushback, but it would be just when it comes to our scheduled meetings, I would like to just have scheduled meetings specifically for things surrounding this committee. The youth, I already met with Julia a number of times, and the collaboration is amazing, but I just don't want the scope of what's the most important thing for the aging committee to be lost within the youth and the joint efforts. I am fully supportive of the joint efforts and expanding in different age groups, as you can see by me being here. But I just want to make sure that everyone is heard, especially from this committee, and then two, that no one feels like, oh, we're just being pushed to the side, which is the overall arching topic or kind of sentiment with the elderly. So I want to make sure that everyone gets their time, especially this committee.
But why, just another question, why at some board meeting wouldn't the intelligence say the youth committee belongs with the education and cultural affairs of the community more so than with the aging committee? Doesn't that make sense to investigate that?
The committee, last year, the board decided to possibly take this up as an issue, but that's a board issue to discuss as a reorganization of the entire board. I don't think, maybe we should move on to aging issues.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, new business. The Communities Club of Riverdale has a 90th luncheon. So this is for anyone over the age of 90. If you'd like to be celebrated, it's a nice little event. And I can send this out by email so everyone has the information. And
Good for 90.
the next thing that I wanted to discuss with the group is the time of the meeting. So I work a 9-to-5 job, so 4 o'clock is a little tough for me. Is there any pushback into moving the time of the meeting a little later?
What?
Yeah. Is there?
No.
If you can't make it, we can keep it at 4 and I'll be
I
flexible.
think the original idea, like way back, it was at 3 o'clock because, so that they could allow seniors to come because they won't, especially when they're doing,
That makes
when
sense.
it gets dark early, people don't want to come out.
And we used to meet at the centers
So they
or
used to
nursing
meet at the
homes
senior
or other
centers.
places.
And that's going to happen. We want to make sure that it's not just going to be holed up in this office. It's a nice office. But we're not going to be holed up. We're going to be meeting in different places and we'll have different guest speakers. I just wanted to ask, just because you don't ask, you don't get an answer. But, okay, so we'll keep it at 4, that's fine.
How about early in the morning before you go to work?
I work.
No.
I want people to get through their day and enjoy a nice coffee afterwards.
Now that people can join in on Zoom, it really isn't that strict to have to meet all 4 corners of the community.
Yes.
Too many committees at night, so.
Yes, so the last thing that's not on the agenda before we adjourn or any kind of thoughts is the appointment of a vice chair. So, there have been multiple inquiries for vice chair. Before I do any kind of formal announcement, I would like to have conversations with the individuals who wanted to be the vice chair. So, not so much of a formal interview, but I just want to make sure that I give everyone a fair shot and don't just make a quick decision. So I will be reaching out by email or by phone, and it'll just be a quick conversation, and then I'll appoint a vice chair. As you can see, seriously, so I'll reach out, and then you'll have an announcement before the end of next week, probably before next Friday. Now, this is kind of the open forum before we close out or adjourn. Is there anything that anyone wants to discuss?
I think Sue wanted to discuss
Oh, yes,
something
I'm so sorry.
about retirees, New York City
Yeah.
retirees, and the
Thank
health implications.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
You can go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Martinez. Again, my name is Sue Ellen Dodell. I've been a North Riverdale resident for close to 40 years, and I'm also a New York City retiree. I worked as an attorney for the city for 44 years. Chair Martinez, I was happy to hear you say today that you care very much for older adults, because the reason I'm here today is to talk about something that affects many older adults in our community. I spoke about this at the community board's gallery session on Tuesday night, and I also presented briefly last night at the Health, Hospitals, and Social Services Committee. I'm here today to ask that you adopt a resolution to support Council Intro 1099. It's legislation that several community boards have adopted resolutions to support already. I've given Chair Martinez the draft resolution. The City Council legislation, Intro 1099, adds just 2 sentences to the city's administrative code. The first sentence provides that the city must offer at least one Medigap plan to its retirees. And the second sentence provides that nothing in the legislation will interfere with the union's ability to collectively bargain for their employee members. Some background: for more than 50 years, city retirees have been promised traditional Medicare along with a supplemental plan. And the city has tried for several years to take that away and put us into an inferior Medicare Advantage plan. The mayor is doing this because of a Ponzi scheme. In 2014, the Municipal Labor Committee, which was a group of the city's largest labor unions, took money from the city's health stabilization fund and used it to pay for teacher raises. And they've never paid that money back to the health stabilization fund. And what they're doing now is they've tried for 2 years to take away healthcare from retirees. If we are forced into the so-called Medicare Advantage plan, we will lose access to our doctors, hospitals, and treatments. This literally is a matter of life and death. We New York City retirees have been fighting in the courts to keep our earned Medicare benefits from being stripped away by the mayor and several labor unions. We've been successful so far in court. The 3 cases that we filed have all been decided in our favor. But litigation is very expensive, and the city has appealed each of our wins in court. And as you know, retirees live on fixed pensions. We've been financing our lawsuits ourselves with small contributions, and it's very tough. We're hearing some council members say to us, well, why don't you wait until the lawsuits conclude? But lawsuits can drag on for many years at great cost, both financial and psychological, to retirees. And because there's been a lot of misinformation out there, I'd be happy when I conclude in just a moment to respond to any questions you may have. What's interesting is that back in 2001, the city's unions testified in support of the same type of legislation, which was enacted by the council over Mayor Giuliani's veto. The unions were for the legislation then, they're against it now. They have some excuses that really do not make sense to me. And so I'm appealing to you to not ignore your fellow residents of Community Board 8. We are hurting, we're afraid, we're concerned that we're going to lose access to our doctors while battling serious diseases. We need your help to make sure that traditional Medicare and Medigap remains in place. If the city moves ahead with this, other states and cities across the country will follow, and that will hasten the end of traditional Medicare, one of the greatest healthcare programs in the country. So I appreciate the opportunity to appear before you today, and I ask that you, the Aging Committee, support the resolution to support Intro 1099 in the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone have any questions?
Oscar, I don't have a question, but, can we make a resolution to support this coming out of the committee?
Yes, of course.
Okay, as a New York City retiree, who is very personally impacted by the, what might happen, which I do not want to have happen, I would like us to, I don't know what the language is, to adopt, New York City Council's Intro 1099 and support it, bring it before the full board for a vote.
Second it.
Right, and just so you know, the chair has a copy of a draft resolution.
Agenda to put that on now. Vote to amend the agenda, was it was on there?
Yeah, I think we have to amend the agenda.
Is there a due date for this?
Is there a due date?
No.
It's really should
When
be
would
done
you-
as soon as possible because we're in the middle of litigation and the city has appealed to the New York State Court of Appeals, the highest court in the state.
Giving you up, Lisa, letting him know that you know Robert's rules in and out.
Oh, me?
Both of you
Oh,
too. What?
right.
First of the roll call.
Okay, so I first need to do a roll call, which is Martinez, present.
Present.
Lee Chong,
Present.
Rick Donato. Marion Lynn. Barbara, I'm terrible at pronouncing it. She's present.
I don't know if I can vote, but I certainly support it.
Georgia
I do,
Santiago.
I do too.
Okay. You done.
Not under Robert's rule, but you don't, you always raise your hand.
So that she doesn't count for a quorum, but she counts for the vote.
She's not a member.
Judy's not a member.
So how many people you have?
5 out of 8.
1, 2, 3, 4. You said you got 5 out of 8, that's good, that's over the 51%.
So, I would like to amend the agenda in order to add the resolution. Any opposed? I'm gonna do this. Now, I would like to bring up the resolution, to support adding Intro 1099 to the City Council. All in favor? Anyone opposed?
Supporting.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone opposed?
Member.
She's a member. Mhm.
Yeah, I know that.
Is anyone going to abstain?
Well, who can vote? Only committee members can vote, right?
Barbara?
Only committee
Yeah,
members.
if you let me vote, even though I'm on Zoom, I certainly
Yes.
support it.
I'm gonna be like this tonight.
Yes. Okay.
Oscar, the other thing is that our local city council member has not signed on to this, and he is I don't know if he's retired, but he's a special ed teacher, so impacted by whatever comes out of this, and it'd be nice to have him on record.
I think all three of our city council members have not signed, though, we have Carmen, Irina, and Eric. And under our, yeah, we have 3 council members.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with all 3 of them, so I'll bring this up.
Sanchez and,
Yeah.
the other one is actually the chair of the Civil Service Committee.
Right.
Would bring it before the committee. He's listening to someone named Adrian Adams. Politics.
Sue, I have a question.
Yes.
Sue? Oh, sorry. Did Health and Hospitals bring or approve the resolution? Did
Yes.
the committee, Health and Hospitals, approve the resolution at last night's meeting?
Yeah, at last night's meeting, the chair said that he would be speaking to Julia Reyes, who I believe is here, right? About the resolution. So there was no vote taken last night.
Last night, I'm on that committee as well. And last night,
I'm
we
sorry,
had
Barbara.
a quorum to vote.
Mhm.
That was also part of what was going on.
Okay. No, the only reason I was asking is because then it becomes a joint resolution between both committees if it passed, right? Am I correct? Good?
If they had the quorum and they put the resolution
Right.
on, they didn't
Okay.
have it.
Oh, okay, they didn't have quorum. So
But
it'll just be out aging.
Yeah, they can always do one later on. And does someone ask if it was time sensitive?
Yes.
Yeah.
And is it?
ASAP.
Because I know it's still in the court, so.
Yeah.
Still in
it
the
is-
courts. I mean, it's been going on for a while now.
Well,
Yeah.
It's in the highest court, so.
The issue, though, is, it's, in a sense, it is time sensitive because November is election. There's gonna be a new city council come January 1st. The chief sponsor, the lead sponsor, Charles Barron, was not reelected, so he will be out. And whether there's gonna be someone else, but come January 1st, everything gets
This will be this will be in next month, but I'm just saying for the health to catch up and put it in, they could still submit it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I
And,
mean, there is some urgency because, the city is proceeding with litigation and, it's very important to protect retirees who are extremely afraid that they're going to lose the health benefits that were promised for more than 50 years.
It'll come to the full board in our next full board meeting.
Okay, good. So you'll present it to the full board, am I correct? Chair Martinez, are you saying that it'll come
Yes.
to the full board? Yes. Okay, good.
Yes, I
Thank
am.
you. Yes, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so. That being said, go ahead.
it's my favorite. Motion to adjourn.
I'll be easy with it.
And the meeting just stopped the recording.
Goodbye, thank you so much,
Thank you, Ms. Ryan.
and
Thank you.
I hope to see you in person. No?
And the next meeting, so be here, we can see them.
I'm sorry?
Next week, you're gonna be here, maybe it'd be nice to have it.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, everybody. I'll be there next
Thank
time.
you so much.
We have no space in the afternoon.